What was Labour Leave's role during the referendum, and what are you doing now?
Well, the Labour Leave campaign's role in the referendum was to do its best to convince as many Labour voters and Labour members and trade unionists to vote to leave the European Union. David Davis, the Conservative Secretary of State for leaving the EU, said that our campaign did more than any other to convince people to vote to leave. And I think where we really worked, which was in Wales, in the North East, in the North West and the Midlands, and in the East End of London, it really did make a difference because all those areas voted to leave. What we're doing now is assessing what's going on, and we're going to play a role of holding the government and the Labour movement to account on this, because we think, Labour areas overwhelmingly voted to leave, and we've got to make sure going into the next general election the Labour Party commits to that and accepts the outcome of the referendum and fully engages with the government in terms of establishing our new relationship with the European Union, and we hope to play a part in that.
Given how many constituencies in traditionally Labour heartlands voted Leave, is the current environment one in which you think UKIP are well placed to capitalise?
Well, we knew all along that the Labour heartlands were going to vote to leave overwhelmingly. We were going out doing the meetings, our activists were coming back telling us that the canvassing was looking really good for leave. I think the Labour Party has got a severe problem in that its formal position in the referendum was rejected by the country and, more worryingly, overwhelmingly rejected by the Labour heartlands. The current crisis in the Labour leadership is causing a sort of vacuum whereby people don't quite know what Labour stands for on certain policy areas. At the moment, for example, we do not have a shadow Secretary of State for leaving the EU, and so people aren't hearing what Labour's alternative is. In terms of whether UKIP will capitalise on it, I think at the moment they're undergoing their own leadership difficulties, but certainly Labour has and is leaking support to UKIP in those traditional areas, and if Labour doesn't urgently find a way of reconnecting with those voters, perhaps accepting the outcome of the referendum principally, I fear that in the future we'll see more and more sort of traditional working class Labour voters leaving the Labour Party and going over to UKIP. We can stop that happening only if we listen and act on what the people said in the referendum.